Seltzer Time, meatballs!
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. It's your boy Ricky, aka Dick Chuck, aka the man behind the can at Seltzer Time Official. Here as always with my conversation.
I think what he was going to say was his conversation accomplice, the man with the hunch about Worcester, Travis. Hi guys, I'm Travis. And as you could clearly tell, this week's episode, we are having some pain in the ass technical difficulties. I believe I'm the only one on video at the moment, and we may or may not have Ricky. You still with us, my dude?
I am. You keep cutting in and out.
I keep cutting in and out. Yeah. So.
Well, it's me. It's me, but.
I hate to tell you, my friend. But this week on the show, we are talking to Tanya Gelman of the Instagram account Albums and Colors. But before we get there, you know what we have to do. Hey, Ricky, how was your week, buddy?
What's up? My week was pretty solid. I don't have internet. Well, no, we do have internet. I'm just having a technical night. My week was good. I can't remember what happened. A lot. I guess a lot. I don't know. I'm good, man. Got new floors.
Got new floors. I lost you after that. So Ricky got new floors, and they're in the middle of working on their house. This is what I know. Ricky had some... You with this, buddy?
Hey, sorry, I keep losing you. Okay, I'm off the internet, so we'll see see what happens.
So I know Ricky had to close his pool. How was being an adult?
Being an adult is fun, I think. Yeah, it's good. I don't know. It could be worse.
Was closing the hard?
I mean, no, but we're also not done yet. So
fair enough.
I have an idea of how to do it going forward, which is nice.
I always know that the DIY projects Ricky's going to undertake, because all of a sudden in the Seltzer Time video history, there's a bunch of like videos on how to close up an in-ground pool, or like, hey man, it's research. You're learning. Like,
Dude, I don't know how people were adults prior to whenever YouTube started, 2003 or whatever it was.
They all had those Home Depot books.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
The DIY for dummies, and then they had to try to figure it out from pictures.
The worst part about it is like you watch the YouTube video, but I spend the whole time trying to focus, but I'm also so annoyed by the person who made the video, because it's always like the corniest, lamest thing in the entire world, and I can't help but be like, dude, this sucks. Or it's like a dad, which is great because they're like, all right, what's up guys, hey, here we are, we're gonna close the pool, and I watch it, I'm like, this guy's the best, because you can tell that he just figured out how to make a video like a week before, but also I need him more than I've needed anybody in my entire life.
You were appreciative of his knowledge, but his editing qualities could be improved.
Hey, I mean, so can't mine, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
How was your week?
Good, busy. I got slammed. I've been crazy busy with hunchback work, which is super nice, but at the same time, I feel like I'm constantly running, like my pants are on fire, and I can't seem to like make serious progress on anything, and then I'll dip into something and I'll get distracted by something else. I saw a meme today, or like a little 4-panel comic that was like, I'm so fucking busy. Oh, hey, look, a distraction. I'm being productive. And like while the rest of the room's on fire. That's kind of how I operate.
Okay. Story of our life.
Yeah. Story of our lives. I am working on a project with Mr. Sean Connolly. Big fan of that. Everybody should be listening to his podcast.
I was just listening to that before we started recording this one. I'm eating my salad too while we do this because it's like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm eating dinner.
You sound half robotic too. It's amazing.
Can you hear me?
In and out. But without any further ado, we are going to rip into this interview with Tanya, which is equally as janky as this. So here it goes. Yeah. We normally record Blue Yeti, but we haven't been in the same room together in months. So we've been using this, but we're literally just talking about how it sounds like cock-a-doodle butter and we have to do something about it. So he's in the middle of moving, and once he gets in his spot, we're going to set him up with a microphone, an actual microphone, and it'll be
fancy.
So maybe we'll have you back on then, and it will all sound good. But now it's going to be the Good Enough podcast.
Yeah, maybe then I'll have 3,000 followers. Who knows?
You and me both.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Is Ricky again, or is he just standing very?
100% he's frozen. You look good. You see a say there you go, but
he just looks like a deer in headlights.
Wait, am I frozen?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, unless you're really good at sitting.
Am I frozen? Oh no.
Oh wait, now you're not.
Oh, you're back.
Nope. I mean, nope, you're frozen again. You were super laggy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're lag central.
Well, I tried to go back on Wi-Fi.
To the point of like, I can't imagine how you will be heard during this thing.
Oh wait, is this better? This is.
There's no picture at all. I'm sorry, Ricky. It was just funny. The timing was impeccable.
No, why is this happening?
I'm so glad I hit record.
Oh,
dying. I'm fucking dying.
Is this better? Well,
because it's 7 o'clock and everybody's on the internet now.
I think. Okay, wait. Am I good now?
Nope.
Let me go back off the Wi-Fi.
This is just so good. I'm so glad to be having this experience with you guys for the first time we've ever spoken, really.
Tanya, I swear, this is the worst it's ever been for us. Like, tonight is the absolute worst. I am so sorry.
Can you put this as like a outtake?
Oh, I've recorded
as like a preview moment?
Yeah. So if people are like, this sounds shitty, they understand that what we had to go through. Like, yes, it sounds shitty to you, trust.
Is it better?
If you asked if it's better.
Can you hear me?
Very little. You break up.
I'm going to start crying.
Okay. Do you want me to like shut my video off?
And you should sound better.
How's that?
You sound more clear. Say something longer than how's that?
Okay. Let me know if that works. Okay. Going over there.
I heard every single one of those laughs. That's a bonus. That's a plus. We're heading in the right direction.
Is it getting better if I keep talking like this?
No, unfortunately.
It's amazing how well you sound like a robot.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, your robot impression is right on. And Tanya and I had this thing going where our photos linked up, and that's all gone now too.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's all good.
It's all fine. I got wine. I got Topo Chico. I got an Nalgene of water.
You made it so. Fuck that.
There you go.
Up. We gotta.
Okay.
Did you go upstairs? I assume you were in a basement. I don't know why I assumed that.
Exactly where he was.
Can you hear me?
We hear you, and then it goes to Robot Town.
The best part would be.
Wait, can you hear me now?
The best thing about this is that I think he's talking at normal speed and like he just gets slowed down.
Yeah, no, that's not him on the other side. Duh. That would be amazing if it was.
What is there like a Travis? Is there anything that I can do?
Have better internet?
It's not mine.
Tanya said it, not me, man. I mean, it's what I was thinking, but
Listen, I have this walkie-talkie. I can ship it to you. Like, have walkie-talkie will ship to Worcester.
That's even better.
It might take 6 to 9 weeks with the USPS currently, but
True.
What the fuck could we do?
Okay, what if I just kind of talk like this?
Where are you right now? Do not move.
I'm not going to move at all.
Okay.
Is this a new place from where you were?
No, I lean forward, and I'm just going to sit like this.
Can you please text a photo?
He can't. That's gonna.
It's gonna mess everything up. You're right.
I'm on my phone.
Get Naomi to take a photo of you.
She's not even home yet, but when she gets here, I'll have her take a photo.
Oh God. All right, so we're gonna try this and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I don't know how much of that you just saw, but this week on the show we have Tanya Gelman of the Instagram account Albums and Colors. Thank you for joining us, Tanya.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
I don't know if we're going to get Ricky in the pre and post show, but if this is different than what else is going on, Ricky's here. Is just his video's not working.
Metaphorically, physically, unsure which.
You still with us, buddy? So, Ricky was the one that wanted to reach out to Tanya. He's been a fan, he's been following your account now for a few weeks, and he's super pumped on it. I don't know how much you've clearly grown because you're up to 2,000 followers, but did you have the idea to just kind of? Wow, this is stupid. I'm still laughing my ass off about everything before, and it's completely shaking me up. Where did you get the idea? Why did you start sampling album? Or maybe we should actually start there. What is the idea for the unindoctrinated?
Yes, for those who do not know, which is whatever the population is right now, minus 2,000. Albums and Colors is a Instagram account that basically takes album, record covers, and I pull out the color schemes of them and quote unquote paint them with watercolors digitally. And it kind of started because I was really bored at the end of May. I had just procured an iPad for my birthday, and I love music, and I was just like, here's a thing that I can do. Let me just pull some colors out of records I really liked. And I did 3 or 4 of my favorite records, and then it became larger than my 6 friends. Yeah. That was, and now here we are.
And then here you are. A Seltzer podcast found you and then asked you to join us. And then
Baby's first podcast.
Is it really your first?
Yeah.
Oh, see, now they can only go up from here because everybody else is going to be way more professional.
There's not going to be a technical difficulty or 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Who really knows? We got the first word out of Ricky, so I feel like things are getting really good.
Do I sound better now?
You sound excellent.
Okay, cool. I'm currently laying on the floor, as close to the door as I possibly can get.
I thought we decided that you were just leaning.
I think leaning forward, failing.
I was, and then I lost you guys, so I decided to just get as close to a window as possible and hope that clears things up. And it sounds like it did.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Sick.
So you started by just grabbing some of your favorite albums. Where did you start? I mean, I know it's a lot of pop punk, or it's a lot of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of pop punk. I grew up-ish in the Warped Tour scene, probably the rest of you who are listening, and literally you two.
Yeah, true.
And I don't know. I started picking some albums that had pretty color schemes and records I just generated, and then it kind of started where people were requesting things through my DM. Yeah, sure. All 6 of you that follow this account, of course I'll do this request of Niall Horan from One Direction? One Direction?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Great. So I did like a One Direction like record at one point because like people were requesting things like that, and I was like, yeah, sure. Why wouldn't I do something that people or somebody wants? And then it became a thing of just basically picking records that I have to like them in some capacity.
Yeah.
I'm not like just doing it for the followers. Well, most of the time I am, but there has to be some, like it has to have like at least a 1 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
And then yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Keep going.
And I just decided to, I need things to like look nice most of the time, just generally across the board in my life. Like I like organization and really well documented things. And so I realized that I wanted my Instagram feed to look similarly, even though probably nobody cared and only I did, but that was enough. So I started posting albums in a 3 pattern that had similar color schemes. So if you look at my feed at the end of the day, every horizontal line or row has a similar color scheme. So if you look at it, because I'm posting like 3 records a day. If you look at it in the morning or the middle of the day, it looks a little wonky, but then at like a 7 or 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. after I've posted the 3rd, then it like evens out and my brain comes back to normal. So, yeah.
So when people request a record, do you sit on it until you have 3 that are like generally the same color palette, or do you pick one and then you go find 2 others that kind of fall into that same palette?
So if somebody requests something, and even if it's not a request, it's just like a record that I just remember from my youth, or like it's coming out later this week or something like that. I do a bunch at once. And I will load them into like a program to help me kind of preview it out. And I basically prep. I probably have like 100 more records that I've already done that just haven't come out yet. So I'm like playing around with them all the time. I'm moving them around. Sometimes I think I'll have a really good 3, and then I create a 4th something, and I'll be like, oh no, this whole thing has to change because I found something even better. And then sometimes I like lately alluded to this, but sometimes I'll put out the albums if the release is coming up. Like I'll know that a band's record is coming out later this week, and I'll put up their new album cover that day. Or sometimes I know that the record came out 5 years ago to the day, or 10 years ago to the day, or they're celebrating an anniversary. I put out an Anne Berlin record when they were doing a live stream for one of their albums that same week. And sometimes I like to make that happen. Sometimes I have no realization I do it accidentally, but that's also kind of a way that I plan out what happens.
Do you find that if you do line it up with like that Anne Berlin record, and you happen to line it up with a live stream, do you tend to find that you're getting more followers or more like interaction on that record just due to the timing? Yeah,
there's definitely more interaction. Once I posted, actually might have been that Anne Berlin record, or maybe it was a different Anne Berlin record, because they've been doing album live streams where they played the full record from start to end. And I think I did one record of theirs where I didn't even realize that they were playing that record in full. And somebody commented and was like, oh, you probably did this because they're playing this record in like 2 days. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I definitely planned on that one. And sometimes I do, but that one was not like planned at all. But yeah, people definitely react to it a little bit more. I find maybe some of the bands even do that when there's a little bit of extra promotion on their end, and not to say that my account versus their account is doing like that much more for their thousands upon millions of followers. But like sometimes you get a little bit more reaction from them. If it's a little bit of extra promotion.
I was gonna say, have you ever had a band? So do bands ever reach out to you like and comment on what you're doing, or like DM you about it or anything?
Yeah, the so I'm lucky enough to have kind of grown up in a really strong music scene back in Baltimore. And so I have a lot of friends that have grown up in that music scene. Brian Swindle from Have Mercy is one of my closest friends, and he's been a really big supporter and always like repost and things like that. So that's been super helpful. And so when his new single came out a couple of weeks ago, we worked together to make that happen. But even like in the really early stages, I guess like maybe like 2 weeks into it or 3 weeks into it, Dashboard Confessional reposted one of the records I did, and that was probably like the biggest increase of likes and follows. And I think that's where all of these like pop punk kids have come from, because Dashboard has been super, super helpful and nice, and reposts and credits and all of that like good stuff. And Manchester Orchestra is one of my favorite bands of all time. And after I had like posted something from their record, Mean Everything to Nothing, whoever runs that account was like, I love this, started following. And now I just like, it feels really crazy that you could just take a couple minutes of doing like some art thing, and then one of your favorite bands comes running over and it's like, wow, this thing is actually really cool that you did for this record that means a lot to them and you know, means a lot to me. So it's been super, super wild.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
You said you started with just by having time on your hands, but like, did you get the idea to like sample out, like, did something about Dermot Kennedy's album stand out to you? Like, I really like the colors in there and I want to check that out. And why is this like, you say started with just some time, but it feels like there was way more thought put into it than just like on a whim.
Yeah. I mean, I love music. I worked in the music industry for a while, and I like just still care about the music that comes out. And like for the Dermot Kennedy one, Dermot's like, I've been, you know, following his music from like years and years ago, and I've watched him grow, which is amazing for him and his team. And that record cover, like in particular, is just really, it's just really beautiful. There's a lot of hidden images in there that you don't actually normally see unless you really take some time and look at it. And I just thought that the kind of like the patchwork of the album was super, super cool. But really, I think the first thing that made me do it was because I love that record so much, and I love him as an artist so much. So I mean, I think the love for the record came first, and then I was like, oh yeah, and it's like really beautiful. So it makes complete sense that the two and two should go together. He's just so great, guys. If you don't listen to Dermot Kennedy,
I'm unfamiliar, but I'll definitely put him on the list of. So
it's not pop punky, not Warped Tour, but like really like beautifully written lyrics. Big fan.
Okay.
Yeah, between Ricky and I, he's heavier into the Warped Tour style. Like I was into some bands of that nature, but I ended up going a little hard, and then I went really weird. Like one of my favorite musicians is from around your area. He's from Brooklyn. This dude Tim Fight. He was like a weird. Sometimes he makes hip hop music. Sometimes he makes folk music. Do you remember the song "Shaniqua Don't Live Here No More"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was him. That's back when he was Lil T with one track mic, but now he's Tim Fight. Fite. If you like weird, but like he's smart and bold. Anyway, truthfully, that's why we felt like you wanted to have you on, is because both Ricky and I love music, and we always feel like we talk music. We're in this like super thick music cut right now where we're just talking. We had Jake from Defeater last week. Nice. So one thing that I really appreciate about your account is the broad facingness, that it's not just one genre. Like I just see the receiving end of Sirens, I see 303, and then I'm seeing some new stuff. And I don't know, as a designer, I'm super into just like some of the consistencies. It feels like there's a lot of blues that carry over. It feels like there's a lot of reds that carry over. Is there any kind of like patterns that you've noticed, or anything like that you've unlocked on your research?
Not like super, super well. I think when I'm at least picking the records and I'm kind of organizing it in a way, I do try and like I said, like I do try and keep it like moderately aesthetically pleasing outside of just outside of just doing the 3 at a time that have matching color schemes and things like that, I'm also rearranging like each row so that there's not completely yellows next to completely yellows, and there's not a wild rainbow assortment next to another neon rainbow assortment, because that doesn't look all that great. But there's been like some records that are so weirdly colored and I want to do them so bad, but it's really hard to find similar color schemes. Like Head Automatica's record is like neon upon neon upon bright, and like just is a lot.
Yep.
And was not particularly easy to find a match, and I have, and it'll come out at some point. But it took, I think I had it like prepped and ready to go for 4 weeks before I found something else. And I think I had to like outwardly really try hard. It wasn't just like casually I found some record. I was like, okay, I can only look at records that have red and blue and green and yellow and literally every color of the Skittles rainbow.
Yeah.
And somehow it worked.
If I guess the record that you found, will you tell me?
Yes, but give me a second so I can pull it up and find it.
Okay.
Give them a limited amount of guesses because we will be here all night. You just will keep guessing.
Oh,
I'll give you what?
Only one record instantly came to mind, and you might have even used this with something before, but it's the only record I can think of that has somewhat the same colors in it, I think.
Okay. What is it?
Is it Incubus Make Yourself?
It is not.
But that is.
I thought you were going to say it was. I was like, oh my God.
It is not, but I do have that one ready.
That is a good
Okay.
one. That's a good choice.
That is a good choice. And I can see why you would think that. But that one I think was a little bit too
Muted.
dark. Like
Okay.
I think that one has a lot more black than it does the color like scheme. Whereas the Head Automatica one, it's like so bright. And there is like black and things like that. But
I thought of plus 44, but I think that was just a cyan splotch.
Yeah, that was
also have that one ready.
Ooh, nice.
Is this actually a podcast about like with me giving away everything that I like prepped and ready to go? Is that actually why I'm on here?
Tanya,
That's all it is.
Hard hitting details, and we're
Yeah.
I
Makes
can't
sense.
wait any more days. I need everything that you have prepped right now.
It would, I think literally I have enough for until like March of next year, which I think tells a lot about how much time I had on my hands or have on my hands. Honestly,
like quarantine.
Quarantine's
New York
weird.
City.
Quarantine's weird. I'm not really going out anywhere. So
There you go. Okay. So, all right. What's your favorite record ever?
My favorite record ever is, I do have actually an answer for this, is Copeland's Beneath Medicine Tree.
Okay.
Which for Copeland fans sometimes is like not the right answer for them, because most people think that In Motion is their best record, and it is a very, very good record. But Beneath Medicine Tree has like more like personal care for me. So yeah, that's probably it.
I can't remember, but have you used that record yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
My next question is, what would be your dream record to use?
Like a record that actually exists?
Yeah. Like, what's a record that you love that you haven't been able to use yet on the Instagram?
Can I have already made it, but it just isn't out yet?
There. We're just
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the rules of this question?
I don't know. I was just thinking, I was like,
tell me the rules again.
I guess there's no rules. I guess I was just thinking, like, if I was in your shoes, I have a hard time figuring out, like, every single hour I have a new band that I think is the best band of all time, and a new record that I'm probably texting somebody that I'm like, this is the best. You gotta listen to this right now. So I guess if I was in your shoes, it would be super hard, I think, for me to not. I don't know. I guess like I would like lose my mind because I'm like, I got to get this record out right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a running list that's partially recommendation and also just records that I remember in the middle of like the morning or whenever, where I'm like, oh, I have to do this band or I have to do this record and I have to write it down or else I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
So all this to say, one of my favorite bands, also from Baltimore, also grew up in that, like in that circle of friends, is The Dangerous Summer. And
Oh yeah.
I love the first EP, If You Could Only Keep Me Alive.
Okay.
The issue with that cover though is that it's green and like hot pink, which is not the easiest thing to find other records that match that. So I'm like, I've been working on this one for probably 3 weeks now, and it's just like the 3 catalog is not coming to me yet. So if anybody has any green and pink and lightly tan ones, let me know.
How close? I mean, off the top of my head, again, the only record that comes to mind is Incubus. No, I'm just kidding. But the only the only record that comes to mind is Head Automatica's Graduation or Graduation Day, whatever that second record they put out was. That was green and had pink in it.
We really like Head Automatica.
I fucking love Head Automatica.
Oh, interesting. That one is a little bit too lime greeny for my taste. I appreciate the knowledge and the attention to detail.
I can't picture the Dangerous Summer record, so I have no idea what color green that is.
It is a pretty like regular, like grass green.
Okay.
What is like? There's forest green, which is obvious. What is like the normal color of green called? Is it just green?
Sure.
Yeah, great. It's just green.
I don't know. Travis, you're the designer.
I would call it green. I would usually pick. Same with blue. Blues and greens are hard. You have to pick a qualifier. Sky blue.
Yeah.
Grass green.
Aquamarine.
Yeah. You want Gatorade blue? That's a very specific blue.
Frost Glacier Free is the best Gatorade flavor in all the land.
Hands down. It tastes like hockey camp.
Oh yeah, super tastes like hockey camp for me too.
Everybody, I mean.
Yeah, it's fair. Hockey was like the one sport I didn't play.
We got our asses kicked by girls that played hockey because we couldn't hit them, and they were 10 times better than us because they wanted it more, and they would just wipe the fucking floor with us.
Yeah, understandably so. I mean, it's like it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why I have such a positive and forward-thinking mind here in my 30s. I got my ass handed by a bunch of young women.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself like running out of albums? Like I could see you running out of pop punk. Like there's tons of like, have you done research into jazz? Like how much jazz do you know?
I don't know that I will ever run out of records. My knowledge of jazz is moderately slim, but my boyfriend who I live with loves jazz. We have a record collection of like those like Calyx IKEA square shelves that like everybody has. We have, I guess it's probably 14 of those squares, and 12 of them are his and 2 of them are mine, and maybe 10 of the 12 are jazz.
Oh yeah.
Of some varietal.
I just tend to look at a lot of jazz covers when I'm doing design work because they're so broad and they're so weird and they're so
I think at some point I'll definitely like bring those a little bit more into my repertoire, if you will, because I'm completely with you. I think some of the jazz covers, especially like jazz from like the 70s and the 80s and things like that, have some really cool covers.
I'm thinking even something like Mingus has like these beautiful pastel-y pinks and blues and yellows and orange, but it's such like a cool album.
Yeah.
That like just flipping through the triptychs, I can see that working, fitting nicely as a puzzle piece somewhere for you.
Yeah. I mean that's great because like I was saying, like there's only so many pop punky or pop or whatever things that are like the Dangerous Summer, the pink and the green. Like there's a whole world of music that I don't know exists. So there's something I just haven't.
That's a fun way of like opening up or broadening your music.
Yeah.
tastes too. Is like now you're forcing yourself to go find new music for a reason. You're beholden to an audience that you've built.
Yeah. The only thing that I just like, I think I always want to make sure for my account is that I'm not posting things just to like post them. And I want to have some like legitimate connection to the music. And granted, it doesn't have to be my most favorite thing in the world. But like I said, like if there's something there, and normally I like in some way, shape or form, I like everything that I listen to. Like I listen to metal. I listen to like top 40 sometimes and things like that. So I think I can find a jazz insert in there somehow.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So jazz is next, you guys.
Just leaving room.
Yes. What?
I'm just leaving room for Ricky. I didn't know if you had any thoughts.
Oh, I was just wondering. So I noticed you don't have a whole lot of hip hop in there.
That was going to be my next question.
Wow.
Oh, really?
We finish each other's sandwiches.
It's pretty cute. Do you have a plan? I mean, I guess you kind of just answered this by saying you were going to start to like broaden out a little bit, but
yeah.
Did you?
Also, there's a lack of Prince that I've noticed. I thought you were going to bring that up at some point.
Interesting.
That's a good point.
Are we big? Are we bigger Prince fans than the general public, or we're like really big Prince fans?
I to put it lightly, fucking love Prince.
Sick.
So
sick.
I'm pretty excited for if you ever drop a Prince.
Have you been to Minneapolis?
For one night, but I didn't get to go anywhere near anything Prince related.
Got it. It's a really lovely city if you can go again and do some Prince things. But yes, to go back to the original hip hop thing, it's very similar to the jazz thing. It's not my like forte truly. But I'm super open to it. I have a couple of things planned, but I just don't know that world as well as I know the Warped Tours and the Power Pops and whatnot. So I also definitely use this as a music taste opening, especially when I started like last week. I started doing, or a few weeks ago, I started doing these stories where I like ask people to guess what the third record is based on the color scheme. Like I'll do a super blur out of the third record, and I'll be like, "What do you guys think it is?" And half of the time, okay, maybe not half the time, but like 25% of the time, somebody will say a record, and I'd be like, "I don't know what this is." Like not even close. Some people are really good and they'll write the artist and then they'll write the album. Some people only write the album, and I'm like, I need to look this up on Spotify because I know it's not it. It's like, I know it's not the record that I chose, but maybe this is a thing that I should be looking into because it could have worked in the color scheme, or it's like moderately good music to them or to me or to whoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, hip hop's coming. It's on its way.
Yeah. So far, every time you've done one of those stories, I've like, I don't know if I've ever actually answered, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, I wonder, like, what if it's this? And I've been right absolutely 0 times. Like,
isn't it weirdly hard?
It's so hard.
I've done maybe 4 of them, and one person has gotten it twice, which is amazing.
Oh wow.
Because I'll get like 100 or like 125 responses within a couple of hours, and everyone is wrong. And somehow this person is just so good at it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like it's a talent. If they can somehow monetize that, I'm not sure how, they should figure that out.
Yeah. That'd be phenomenal. I'm in the process of moving, which is a major part of the technical difficulties we're hitting tonight.
What technical difficulties?
The fact that I am a red and blue drawing of myself and not a human being.
That you may or may not be shaking every time you talk, depending on how much editing I feel like doing.
Okay, I'll take it. But I have this huge box of CDs I guess the CDs are at my parents' house, but I can't wait to like move into my house so I can get them out of this box, and then that way I can just study all of them. So when you post an Instagram story, trying to guess what it is, I'll have like some reference.
That's definitely what you should be doing with your time. Definitely not like moving.
True. Or like
not the process of moving.
No, it's the studying of all my CDs.
Are you going to keep the CDs? Like, are you a CD keeper?
To the disappointment of my mom and my now girlfriend that I live with. Yes, I'm a CD keeper. My mom's bummed. Well, my mom's not bummed, but she has a gigantic case of CDs at her house that's definitely taken up some solid room. And my girlfriend is terrified as to where I think the CDs are going to go when we move into the house.
Are you going to listen to them? It's now actually a podcast where I interview you.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Go crazy, go
What
now.
are you going to listen to them, or are they just sentimental value?
I mean, I guess whenever I listen to music at home, it's either vinyl or through Spotify. So I probably won't listen to them, but maybe.
Ricky, do they spark joy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had to go through some battles to get some of those when I was a lot younger.
Can I hear about one of them?
Sure. Okay, so when I was I don't know, I couldn't drive a car, so probably like 14, we took the city. I grew up in a small town like outside of Worcester. So taking a city bus into Worcester when you're like 14 years old with your rollerblades and like $25 was kind of weird.
Big.
It's a big day out.
Ricky's big day out. And I'll never forget, I took the bus to the Greendale Mall, which isn't open anymore. And I bought the Transplants first record and Yellow Card's Ocean Avenue on the same day.
Wow.
And as a kid, I was like, this is the best. And as a 33-year-old, I'm like, that was the fucking best. I thought it was
it is still the best.
Still the best. In my mind, buying Yellow Card and the Transplants on the same day made all the sense in the world. And I still have both of them, and both of those CDs are unbelievably scratched.
Yeah. Well, did you not use them as Frisbees like everybody else did?
I don't know what it is. I don't actually remember if I had a like an anti-skip CD player at that point. So I probably fell skating and like the CD slid across the street 15 times.
For all the kids listening, CD players, if you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
You put
not
them
like
in a
Spotify.
book. You put them in a big ass book and it would scratch the hell out of them.
Yeah.
I never had one of those.
You never had a binder for them?
No, because I liked covering everything with stickers, and most of the binders had like that soft, like bindery face. So
that sticker-proof face.
Yeah. So I bought like a metal one that I ended up breaking all of the little things out of, and I would just kind of like put the actual plastic cases inside of that case because that case was covered in stickers, and it was awesome.
It's like a little metal briefcase.
Pretty much, yeah.
Did it have a handle?
I don't know. You know what?
Say yes.
That actually might be at my parents' house in the basement. I should try to find it.
That's the kind of content our followers want to see.
Do it for the people.
I'll see what I can do.
See, I have a special feeling with the album Hot Damn, which is downstairs in my little CD collection, which is in the basement. Every Time I Die is Hot Damn. But that's only because back in college, we went to what is the music store? For Your Music, whatever.
FYE?
Yeah, the mall music store. And I noticed that they had the Every Time I Die CD not in the CD case, but it was in like just free, not in that stupid like steel proof case. So I'm like, yeah, okay. And I just kind of slipped it in my hoodie pocket because, it's fun to do bad things sometimes. And then my best friend, Matt, had this funny little game he liked to do where he'd walk out of the door and be like, phew, they didn't catch us because he didn't steal anything. Well, he decided to do it this time. And what? Nobody saw me. Shut the fuck up. And I ran to the car and he's like, what? It was just a joke. What? And then when we got to the car, I showed him. He's like, dude! He hates that I made him an accomplice.
That sounds so stressful.
I don't do it anymore.
I mean, I would hope not, but like.
No, I get my kicks from cocaine. But
only because FYE is not open anymore.
Yeah, that's it. I actually think there is like a couple still in existence.
They got
really?
They all took the Newberry Comics route and they started selling toys and all the other shit.
Oh, that makes sense. Smart.
Midtown Comics. Well, Where else? I'm trying to think of a store in New York that is like that.
Yeah, but I think Newberry is a thing people know.
Yeah.
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 Right?
God, it's big.
Sure.
So do you have like growth ideas for the account? Like, is this going to be like this for perpetuity and or whatever? Just like, you're going to continuously release these until you're done. Do you think you ever collect them into like a book?
I will continue to release them until I run out of music. I don't plan on releasing anything physical because it's not legal for me to do so because I can't use band's likeness for any sort of profit. So if any bands are listening and want me to do their record and also print it and also profit off of it, you let me know.
I mean, you could get permissions, but yeah.
Yeah. I think I could ask. But I think right now I'm enjoying just like doing this and having people have started guessing what the third record is, even if I'm not doing one of those story type things. They're like, oh, well, I bet it's this one. I'm like, you're super wrong. Only that one person that gets it right all the time is right. But I've honestly just enjoyed like people caring about something that's kind of, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's like kind of simple, right? It's just taking colors of records that you like and putting them out on paper, which is a cool just thing to do that makes people happy. Because a lot of the time also I'm finding I will put up a record that people haven't listened to in like 10 plus years. And they're like, oh man, this band, I haven't listened to them since high school or college or 5th grade, which is like a whole other situation. But I like being able to come back to those records that I haven't listened to since I lived in Maryland and used to go to like the venues in Maryland, which is just like, you know, it's a fun little trip down memory lane for me on Instagram, which is
yeah.
weird.
We had one of our past guests, Evan Pieri, he had, I think he reposted one of your posts. I forget which record it was, but I was like, what is that? So I clicked it, and then that's kind of how we discovered your account. And I've kind of gone down like a rabbit hole. He's the best.
He is the best.
I was like, dude, what is this? He was like, oh, it's like, I don't know, it's like this account. Like, I just think it's really cool. And I was like, yeah, no, this is dope. Like, and then I went all the way back and was kind of looking through your stuff and saw that you had like Taylor Swift records, and the new Haim record was like one of the earlier ones you posted. I was like, this is incredible, because you also have like Glassjaw and the fucking Get Up Kids. Like, it was so much fun.
Mannequin. Yeah.
Yeah, it started out actually pretty pop heavy, because I think I originally when I came up with the idea and I was talking to my friends about it, I was like, what do you think people want to see? And I think it was like the same day or that Taylor Swift released Folklore, and I was like, I'll do Folklore. It's black and white, but I'll do Folklore. So it started out pretty like, pop heavy. I mean, Dermot Shore doesn't like fully cross over to that top 40 necessarily line, even though he does have a radio single, but it was like Taylor Swift and Haim and that type of stuff before I was like, oh, Everything in Transit is really one of the best records ever. So let me do that one. And then let me do Copeland, and then let me do The Dangerous Summer. And then I was like, I'm just going to show the world what music I like.
There you go.
Posted. At the end of the day, that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
Clearly you're having fun with it.
Yeah. Oh, great.
You posted, pretty much everything you post for the most part, I'm like, oh man, like I love that band. The other day you posted Real Talk from Man Overboard, and I think
such a good record.
It's
so
incredible.
Old.
I've listened to that record 50 million times, but I haven't. Usually once a year I'll put it on, and I'll just like fall in love with it. I'll listen to it a couple times here and there, and then I won't touch it again. Yep. You posted it, and I was like, dude, all fucking day. I need to listen to that record.
That's exactly it. It's like I'm having those moments too where I'll randomly remember a band that I used to love and listen to, and then I'll post and I'll be like, oh yeah, now there's all of these other records that I can post from that same band. Man Overboard, I mean, I probably haven't listened to in I don't know, when did that record come out? I listened to like some stuff afterwards, but not as passionately and like with as much like care as that record.
That record came out, I think, 10 years ago.
Yeah, like
or not.
What? And B, like I remember just hearing that record for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, this is what pop punk is. Like, this is what I want to listen to for a while. Like, this is a record I love." I have this also very distinct memory of driving to middle of nowhere, New Jersey, and from Brooklyn with a friend going to a house show, and we got there as the cops were pulling up.
Nice.
Because like house shows, not really all that legal. And they like broke up the party as I was pulling up, and I was like, but I just got here. I just drove 2.5 hours into like, who knows, rural New Jersey, nowhere I like needed to be for any other reason.
Did the cops care?
Yeah. No.
Oh, I was like, really? I thought I knew the answer to that one.
No, they truly didn't. But they broke up the house party that hadn't even started. And then I remember somebody getting onto a speakerphone or megaphone, as they left, and was like, all right, we're moving it to another house. And then we went to another house like 10 blocks away and did a front yard show that they played. Like,
that's awesome.
I didn't remember that until I put that record up, or I saw them, or I re-saw them on Spotify, which is just probably one of like the best memories I have from that time in my life, that I could just go to a house party and in the front yard of somebody's house I didn't truly know, and it was fine and good, and everyone was safe, and it doesn't really happen all that much anymore. I mean, especially in the time of coronavirus, but
Sure.
Like that really doesn't, I don't think that happens anymore. I don't think it's because I'm too old. I think it just doesn't.
I think house shows still exist, but
They still exist, but like, do the cops come and break it up, and then they're just like, nah, it's fine, we'll just do it somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I gotta believe. Well,
No,
I gotta believe it exists.
Yeah.
Yes, I would hope it does.
I hope it exists. I don't know if it does. Again, the whole being old thing.
It really puts a wrench in things.
It really, really does.
I would
I
go tomorrow.
That's probably not safe.
If the germ was away, I'm just saying, even at 35 or 34 or 35 in a couple of weeks, I would go to a house party tomorrow. Or not a house party, but a house show or basement show. I still want to see. I maintain that the heavy metal bands, like the heavier the band, the faster they play, a band like Converge, the best room to see them in is a super tight fucking, because then you get the sound as it's coming out of their amps as they intended. It's not coming off the back wall and then echoing and blending and getting all fucked up. So like, I don't know. I have fond memories of some basement shows and just some backyard shows and some of that shit. It's like backyard wrestling. It's a little dangerous, but it's mostly fun.
So like, if people generally follow the rules, like it's probably okay-ish. Yeah. I went to the last backyard basement something show I went to. I went with my friend to, shocking, New Jersey, and saw You, Me, and Everyone We Know playing a reunion show for the first time in like 5 years. Also a Maryland, DC-ish band.
Huh. Yeah.
And it might have been in a frat house now that I think about it. There was definitely a keg. So that absolutely means it was a frat house.
Party.
Yep. It was definitely on a college campus. And the basement where they were playing it was too short for my friend, who was very tall.
Oh.
So it was just like one of these like half tilted neck situations.
Taco neck.
Yeah. It's not great. I mean, thankfully my 5'6" stature was A-okay, but I think if you were like 5'9" and up.
Yeah, I would have taco neck. Both Ricky and I had taco neck.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a good time for you. Outside of just seeing You, Me, and Everyone We Know play a show for the first time in like 8 years.
It's hard to headbang that way.
Yeah, it's not good for you. I mean, headbanging generally probably like not ideal for your neck, but a side headbang.
Really fast yoga.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly it.
Tanya, this has been a very interesting conversation. I feel like we landed it. The takeoff was a little shaky, but
There was a technical issue or two. We
Yeah.
weren't sure if we were going to glide.
We made it.
how can people find your account and where should they be looking?
You can find my account only on Instagram because I don't have other things for it yet. Maybe in the future. I don't have a TikTok. I don't even know what that TikTok would be if I had one.
Awesome.
It would be a song from the album as you draw the three colors.
Guys, do you want to start a business?
We're writing your content for you. No, we're ideas guys. We're lazy and we're ideas guys.
Yeah, you're right. There's no business strategy here. Maybe
Remember,
maybe
you can't profit off of this. Remember that.
True. Maybe by the time this comes out, I'll have a TikTok, but probably not.
Okay.
But it's instagram.com/albumsandcolors. And I'll be on there until music stops existing. Or I stop existing, whichever.
You get bored with it. Yeah. No,
whichever comes first.
That's AND colors for anybody that's going.
Yeah.
Colors spelled the American way. No U, the way it should be spelled.
Wait, should it be spelled with a U or not with a U?
The British people say U.
Yeah.
They also don't. Tanya, this has been super fun. I've enjoyed talking music and making fun of Ricky together. And
great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and having the coolest Instagram.
Thanks so much.
You've become my new. So you know that account that's like Chandler holding your favorite record? Have you seen that?
No.
So
Is
it's
it
an
anything like
Instagram-
the Bill Clinton one holding your favorite record?
It's the exact same thing, except it's Chandler from Friends sitting in a chair holding a record, and they just change out whichever one it is.
Mm-hmm.
There was a good maybe a full year where I posted that. I think almost every single time that account posted a record, it happened to be a record that I had some kind of a connection to. And then it stopped for a really long time. It restarted like a month ago when the new Run the Jewels record came out. It stopped again. And then 2 weeks later, I saw your account and I was like, oh my God, this is even cooler.
You were on an emotional roller coaster and I was here to, really help you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for catching me in my musical downfall.
You're so welcome. I'm just here to help.
Hey, man overboard forever,
We'll see you around the internet, Tanya.
Hasta luego.
Hey, thank you so much, Tanya. Thank you for rolling with the silliness of recording episodes in quarantine. And thank you for joining and talking about the account. It's super cool. It's a super cool idea. If anybody hasn't checked it out, definitely go check out Albums and Colors, all spelled out. Ricky was the one that saw it to begin with, and he's been definitely telling me about it at least once a week for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I love I've gotten kind of lucky where she's used a lot of records that I personally love. So it's fun to see those pop up in my feed and then instantly become things that I put on in my car.
And it's very Ricky and
I don't even know if you can hear anything I'm saying.
Yeah, we could. You put it on your car. Ricky and I talk a lot about the shareable quality of internet content, and her stuff is very relatable to anybody that you could share it, one, on an artistic level, two, for appreciation of the music, or three, just for the appreciation of, I don't know, cool color combinations. I've definitely used it as a graphic designer today. I was designing a logo and I needed some color combinations. So I'm like, all right, I need some inspiration. I flipped through her account and grabbed some pinks and grays for this logo I'm working on.
There you go.
So you never know when inspiration
Pinks and grays.
And she makes it real easy for you.
True.
Thank you, Tanya. I believe it's about that time to rip into some Stokes and Pokes.
Yeah.
When you hit them with those stokes, ow! Gotta slap them with those pokes. Oh yeah! Stokes and Pokes.
All right, so my Stokes and stokes are actually going to be like they go together. So I'm stoked. I'm going to go with my stoke first. I'm stoked on the idea and the execution and the game changer moment that was the Travis Scott meal at McDonald's. I think it's genius. For a company that's that big, that's been around forever, they've only done 2 celebrity burgers. They did Michael Jordan and then Travis Scott. I don't know how there was nobody in between. It kind of blows my mind. The marketing around it has been amazing. They're selling like shorts with his logo and the McDonald's logo on it. People are having so much fun with it on TikTok. It's hilarious. So today I got one and it's garbage. It's not very good. They didn't give me my buffalo or my barbecue sauce that you're supposed to have to dip the fries in. So I was pretty bummed about that. And then the burger is just like a regular cheeseburger with bacon on it. And it's McDonald's. So none of it's really that good. It was pretty disappointing.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. As somebody that absolutely does partake of McDonald's on probably a once a month basis, I know what I'm getting myself into, but I found it thoroughly delightful and hilarious that all these, like, I don't know, influencers are all of a sudden going back to McDonald's as if it's some fucking magical place. But this entire time, everybody's like, oh, I could never eat that shit. Meanwhile, I'm just like, yeah, it's garbage food, but I get a hankering for garbage once a month. I'm kind of like a raccoon that way.
Yeah, it was amazing watching it all like unfold online. And then today I just happened to be kind of near one and I needed lunch. So,
and they used an action figure. So it's even way more predictable. They don't have to try to like get him to actually film anything. They could just use some audio.
It's great. I mean, they shot like all the promo, like there's like a bunch of pictures and stuff with him. But like in terms of the cartoon though, it's just a Happy Meal toy. That's him, which is genius. And I don't know if that's like actually the thing. Is that the toy? But like, do they still do that? Are there still toys?
There's I mean, I thought there was. It would be very funny if they custom built a Travis Scott toy for a Happy Meal.
They would crush though. Like I've been seeing so many TikToks of these like little kids. You don't even see the kid. It's just them. Like they'll shoot a TikTok of their food. And they're like, hey, what's up, you guys? I want to do a review of the new Travis Scott meal at McDonald's. It's really good. Go get one. It's lit. Because, like, that's his whole thing. I laugh every time. It's great. So, yeah, shout out to good marketing and horrible product. Sucks.
Fair deal.
What do you got, dog?
As I said, that's the whole thing. I'm going to start with pokes. I'm usually open to talk to anybody. So, for whatever reason, we're getting more people hitting us up on Facebook, people hitting us up on Instagram. And some dude who was a local kid, seemed like he was young, but decided to move to Worcester, or he's based here for whatever, just looking at his profile on Facebook, decided to add me on Facebook, add me as a friend. And I noticed that he was with the Church of Latter-day Saints, which again, I am very much of the camp. You do what you do. I do what I do. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
I'm a very devout atheist, but you will never hear me shove my ideals down other people's throats. I'm very much a live and let live. Let's just all have a good time. This dude started hitting me up through Facebook Messenger, asking me if I've ever read his book. I tried to politely say no thank you to the conversation a couple times, being like, hey, man, live and let live. Let's just go on. You know, yeah. I didn't want to delete him. I didn't want to block him. But the dude just wouldn't he wouldn't read between the lines and like understand that I was trying it. So I ended up ending the conversation with happy trails and hail Satan. And I told him that I'd been delightfully annoying and that no minds would be changed. And then happy trails and hail Satan, which is probably not the most responsible or, polite ways to do it. But at that point, I didn't want to curse at the kid. Like he's just
they go on these mission trips and they prep them on what they should talk and how they should talk and how they should approach the conversation. And these little 17-year-old know-it-alls, man, they just get under my skin and they don't actually answer the questions that you ask of them. They never go off script, which is really annoying to me. I don't know. Plus,
Okay.
I was annoyed that night, so he got to me. Just don't go. I mean, whatever. I'm tired of solicitors going door to door. I don't want them coming into my fucking Facebook messengers. Yeah. All right. And then I am stoked to tell you all that there was something we brought up in the interview with Jake last week. Jake Woodruff of Defeater, Dream Tigers, tons of other bands. He had said that he heard a rumor that Market Basket Seltzer is Polar Seltzer. Well, with a little bit of Googling, I found a story from Worcester Magazine back from like 2014 that confirms that Polar does private label for Market Basket. So you heard it here on the Bubbly Boys podcast that if you go to Market Basket, you will probably save, I don't know, half price, you think it is?
Probably, yeah.
So what we really need to do now is to go 1-for-1 comparison to see if like Market Basket lime tastes as good as Polar lime, if it's literally the same thing.
We need a Market Basket sponsorship where we go to a Market Basket and they film us doing supermarket sweep because that's what's up.
And then we just come back with a cart full of seltzer. And we're like, guys, we misunderstood the game.
Dude, seltzer and I had Pringles yesterday for the first time in a long time.
I was
and could go
about
for,
to
like, a whole
say
carton.
Pringles.
Dude, seltzer and Pringles, that's the like Market Basket move for when we have our supermarket sweep.
What
You
flavor?
call it Seltzer Time sweep.
What flavor Pringles?
Well, I had regular ones. Like I got some small, like a little small one of regular. But Naomi was like, "Oh, I love the cheddar, the like sour cream and cheddar ones." But I couldn't find the little one.
Those little ones, those little snack packs of the jam.
Well, I saw like the regular one in the aisle. I was like, "Damn, I want Pringles." And then I was like, "Well, I don't really need that." And then when I was waiting to pay, the little one was like right near the register, and I was like, "All right, you got me." Yeah,
You got me, Mr. Mustache.
You got me, Pringle Paul.
Awesome. All right.
We
Well,
should see if somebody from Pringles wants to come on the podcast.
oh shit!
That'd be
You know
so
they make
sick.
them, right? Have you ever seen that? How it's made?
No.
It was actually unwrapped with Mark Summers, but it's potato pulp. They pulp the potatoes and then form them.
What? I didn't know that.
Although I still like the Mitch Hedberg joke that he thinks the people that ran Pringles really wanted to start a tennis ball company. But on the first day, instead of a truck full of rubber, a truck full of potatoes showed up and they said, fuck it, make it work.
That's awesome.
Rest in power, Mitch Hedberg. All right, cool kids. You've done it. You've killed another hour. You've looked a lot of my face if you watch this on YouTube or Facebook. And for that, we are extremely grateful as always. Find us on the internet, seltzertime.com. Find me personally at Hunchback Travis.
You can find me probably with bad internet at DickChuck77 or Seltzer Time Official. Someday I will be in a place where I can record that is not either outside or where you can't hear me.
Yeah, guys, thank you very much for rolling with us. We are going to get better at this someday.
Someday.
But that day is not today. Party on.
Once we get that Market Basket sponsorship and that Pringle money.
Yo, Demulis!
I want a Pringles can full of $100 bills.
You sound like somebody's grandma. Bye, guys. See you next week.
Peace.